So in Game of Thrones, unintentional cannibalism may have led to Bran Stark getting his three-eyed raven powers. May have. And if it did, it was a whoops. So yes, we have arrived at the Jojen Paste theory, and yes, it is exactly what you think it is. Jojen and Paste. But let's set this up with a little refresher on Bran Stark, Jojen Reed, Meera Reed, and the whole trip up north to the three-eyed raven. So they do that. I'm kidding. So, if you remember, Bran is trying to get up north to the three-eyed raven because, he thinks that the three-eyed raven is going to help him fly, and he's, whatever that means. So he's traveling with Jojen Reed and his sister Meera Reed, and they are helping him, make the journey. Now, the Reed siblings have decided to do that because Jojen has green dreams, not to be confused with green seers. So green dreams are like prophetic visions that some people from the north and a lot of times like children of the forest can have, that Jojen happens to be one of those people. And again, this is different than a green seer, because a green seer is a type of skin changer. So a lot of the time also, like North people, they can be born as a skin changer, and I believe it says in the book that like 1 in every 1,000 Northmen are born a skin changer, but then only 1 out of every 1,000 skin changers is a green seer. And they're just like a skin changer who's just like supercharged. So normally like skin changers are, either able to like skin change into birds or some animals. They're called a warg if they do it into like dogs or wolves. But a green seer, again, is just like that on the go-go juice. They're able to skin change into lots of different types of animals, and they are also able to use the weirwood trees as a sort of like psychic network where they can like skin change into it and then see through all the trees around the kingdom. But anyway, back to Bran and Jojen and Meera. So they are, traveling up north, and this is where there's a kind of difference between the show and the books. In the show, just as they're getting to the three-eyed raven and stuff, Jojen gets killed like right outside the door to like the tree. He gets like stabbed by some whites, and it's very sad. And then they like throw a bomb to like whatever, kamikaze him. It was a thing. In the book, however, that doesn't happen. They actually make it into the tree, and all 3 of them get to meet the three-eyed raven and some of the different children of the forest who are there. Meanwhile, if I remember correctly, it's like Cold Hands who is the one that becomes like the sacrificial person outside to like hold everyone off while they all get inside to save. But once the 3 of them are like with the three-eyed raven, things start to get a little funny for Jojen. So while he's there, he gets like progressively in like a worse and worse mood, which had kind of been happening like on the journey up, but like the second they actually got there, like went into overdrive, and he's always like sullen, he's looking unhealthy, like very thin, and it's like, ooh, what's wrong with you? So this is where the Paste theory comes in. So Bran only has a few chapters in Dance with Dragons, the last book that came out, but his second to last one, if I remember correctly, so please correct me in the comments if I'm getting this wrong, but he has like a big like blow up with Jojen, because again, Jojen is just not doing well, he's not in a good place, he's just sickly, all this fun stuff, and they have a blow up. Jojen like storms off, and then Bran is like, whatever, no, we're all fighting, and I think like Meera goes after Jojen. And then, next chapter, Bran is back with the three-eyed raven, and they're like continuing his like training, because the three-eyed raven is like training him on how to like skin change into different animals and stuff. And at this point, they're like, okay, we're ready to start like really trying to awaken some of your like green seer powers, because that's what Bran is. That's why he's like so powerful and weird about this, is because he's a green seer. But to help like awaken his powers and help them grow and mature or whatever, they say that Bran has to eat this weirwood paste, which is supposedly made out of like the seeds of a weirwood tree. And yeah, here you go, eat it. Now, when Bran looks at it, it's like a white paste, but he describes it as having these like red veins running through it that he says look suspiciously like blood, but he just assumes are like the veins of I think like a leaf or something. Now, eventually, he eats it. It goes through like tasting like different like flavors. It's like gross at first, then it gets better, and then eventually it helps like awaken his sight. He's able to skin change into the weirwood roots, and then eventually he starts like having these visions, because like green seers, beyond being like supercharged skin changers, they can also see into the future and the past, and this helps Bran be able to do that. But back to the paste. The weird thing about this chapter in particular is that Bran notices that he can't find Jojen and Mira anywhere. Like after the three-eyed raven does the training and does the paste thing with him, he goes back to where they've been sleeping, and he decides, I'm gonna like stay awake and wait for them to come back in, and they never come. And he's like, that's weird. I wanted to talk to them about this, but we don't know where they are. That last chapter where the weirwood paste suddenly appears, they do not. So the theory goes that, Jojen is getting more and more unhealthy and unhappy because he is either being bled or he is like just having his like life force like sucked out of him somehow. And then eventually they and then they grind, and then they say, here, it's weirwood paste, eat up. And as crazy as that sounds, there is like some precedent for this, because one thing with the old gods, which is, the children of the forest, the green seers, all that, it's all wrapped up in the old gods mythos. They were very big on blood sacrifices, human sacrifices. That was considered like an important part of how to get their magic and stuff to work. So it stands to reason that if you are trying to, awaken a green seer's power, and this magic is tied to this very specific magic system that involves blood sacrifice, that maybe a blood sacrifice is needed to help awaken it, And so Jojen maybe became paste. But Brandon did not know. He didn't know, right? No, he didn't know. He suspected, but anyway, please remember, if I got anything wrong, if I missed a thing, I am not infallible. Please let me know in the comments, though. Be polite about it. It's been a weekend, And also, if there are any other theories you want me to talk about, let me know. I love doing these, so yeah, let's do more of them, okay? Okay, bye.